Hujambo and welcome back to Elimu Café, your go-to space for understanding education in Kenya. I'm your host, Chelea, and today I am very excited to be launching a series that will shine the light on one of the most talked questions among Kenyan parents. What is the British curriculum? And to help us understand and navigate this question, I am honored to introduce our guest, Mr. Clifford Oluoch. The reason why he comes in as a rare and powerful perspective is because Clifford currently serves as the head of school at Makini School, Runda, a leading school and institution in Nairobi. And before that, he was a principal at Premier Academy, where he experienced firsthand both the Kenyan curriculum and the national British curriculum, giving him unique insight into how each works. He's an accomplished author, he's written creative books, he's written a memoir, and he has inspired many young learners to discover their voice. Beyond schooling, Clifford is widely respected by students, by staff, by parents, by people like myself, and for his visionary leadership and for his compassionate approach. And so in this series, we'll delve into what exactly is the British curriculum, where we'll demystify terms like Cambridge, IGCSE, and GCSE. We shall look into the classroom and explore how children learn under the British system. What are the lessons? What are the assessments like? We'll look at the classroom beyond that particular classroom. We'll look into teacher training, what are the particular pathways after GCSE and how do schools succeed under this model. And we shall close off by comparing the CBC curriculum with the British curriculum, giving us insight from the dual curriculum experience that he's had. Clifford will explain and compare both systems, give us clear insights into our child's futures. So whether you're wondering about private schools, international options, and how these systems stack up in Kenya, this series is crafted for you. So join me in welcoming Mr. Clifford Oluoch, and remember to grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's learn together. Welcome to Elimu Café. Thank you so much for coming over, Cliff.
Welcome.
Yeah, so as we discussed, the conversation is going to be purely on GCSE.
Okay.
Cambridge, I just wanted to ask you, tell us, we've heard people talk about Cambridge, they say British curriculum, IGCSE, GCSE. I am lost completely.
Okay.
So what is it all about in simple terms?
Well, first disclaimer is that I'm not an expert in IGCSE or Cambridge. So whatever I'm going to say is my personal experience in 22 years that I spent in so-called IGCSE schools. So when I walked out of Strathmore, which is still local curriculum, and I went into Aga Khan Academy, it was my first kind of
experience.
Yes, foraged into IGCSE.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and so of course, if you ask what is it about, of course, then it's an international curriculum, right? From Britain, which is an International General Certificate of Secondary Education. And then, of course, in the UK, they'll have the GCSE without the I.
Oh.
Right? So the I is for international.
Oh.
And basically, it's just like they've got different examining boards or bodies, and Cambridge is one of them. There's also Pearson, right?
Oh.
And I think there's a third one which I can't remember. So they're different examining bodies.
So the I is, so which one exactly is the curriculum?
No, it's the same curriculum, but what happens is that the examination will be international, in the sense of what we are doing in Kenya is what will be done as a Cambridge exam will be done in Uganda. The same one that will be done in Mauritius, if it's a Cambridge system. So the exam is the same and it is international.
So Cambridge is like their neck?
I won't say, because neck is actually national, right? But Cambridge to them is one of their necks. So they don't have one neck.
So they have like different examining bodies offering
exactly.
exams or assessments to this particular.
Exactly what they call what they call formative assessment summative assessment at certain transition stages. So there's grade 6, there's grade 9, there's grade 11. Sorry, year 6, year 9, year 11, and year 13, year 12 and year 13. Yeah. So those are transition period. So yes, so it is offered in the UK and it has made its way internationally. That's why it's called International General Certificate of Secondary Education. Right?
That's a good one. I had no clue.
Now you know.
So take us through, like, what is the progression? You talked about the exams, but where does it start? Like, at what point? You see, like in CBC, and that's based on my experience. You start at 4. What are the stages for?
Well, they've got the early years program, or they call it the EYFS, which basically starts at 3, 3 to 5. However, the early years is more of kind of pedagogical and experiential rather than academic, right? So 3 to 5, and then you have the primary, which is Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, Key Stage 3. Key Stage 1 is what we call early years, so grade 1, 2, and grade 1 and 2. Then Key Stage 2 is 3, 4, 5, and 6. At primary level, you finish with your key stages and you have a checkpoint exam, which is Cambridge. And then Key Stage 3, grade 7, 8, 9. Key Stage 4, 10, 11, 12. And then 10, 11, then you finish off with A-levels. Yeah. So that's how they progress. And I'm not sure about that. By law, you have to be in school until 16, which is O-levels or the kind of year 11.
And then after that, now you can choose to...
Well, after that, if you want to go to university, then you have to write your A-level exams. Yeah, so there's those who go and do year 12, which is like Form 5, and then they go to pre-uni, and then they go to uni. Those who go up to year 13, which is their A-levels, then from there, they'll just go to university.
University direct.
Yes, to university direct.
Okay.
So, of course, the subjects also go reducing. Okay, this is should I say what? The complex. The subjects, a few, then they increase, then they reduce. So at Key Stage 1, they used to have a SAT test. I think they did away with it in grade 2. It was meant to be an audit kind of test, but it ended up being academic and being abused, and the kids were a lot of pressure. So it was just basically only in math and English in Key Stage 2. Then now, Key Stage 1. Then at grade 6, there are math, English, and science. But now Cambridge has brought in global perspectives as well. So again, there are 4 subjects. Then they increase when you go to year 11. I'm not sure whether it's 8 subjects. And then we go to A-levels, then again they reduce to 4 subjects.
And as you said, the A-levels is now at the point at which you've already turned 16.
Yeah.
And now you want to opt either to go into uni or you want to try out.
Exactly. So art sciences, so basically you specialize.
All right. Yeah, so it becomes like a pathways if you want to talk about.
It is basically our pathways.
Oh.
Yes. So if you go back to, all these are like fashion, kind of, it's coming back. Because those of us who went to school, the generation lost generation, the ancestors. Yeah. So at Form 3, we had to choose subjects. Okay, and it was basically arts or sciences, right? Then once you go to Form 4, you write your exam, and then now in Form 5, you narrow it down to 3 subjects. So to give an example, at Form 3, I had to choose between history and chemistry, and then physics and literature, one of those ones, right?
Okay.
So I dropped history and I dropped literature.
Okay.
Then I went now into do sciences. Geography was compulsory. You had to do at least 1 art subject. So geography was compulsory in that school.
Okay.
Then now at A-levels, I narrowed down to maths, physics, and chemistry. So 3 subjects. And we call general paper is like now global perspectives.
Oh, so pretty much we're just sort of like going back into...
Precisely.
Okay. And is it just maybe to circle back to the old curriculum, to the CBC or whatever we have at the moment, CBC, was a lot borrowed from this particular curriculum in your opinion? Or how do you feel like it's... If, for example, I was a parent and I'm trying to move from one to another, and I know we'll cover the comparisons of CBC later, but when you talk about like Key Stage 1, how does it compare to now, let's say, CBC?
Of course, CBC or CBE, whichever they want to call it, because the curriculum is part of the education, has borrowed a lot from the international curriculum. And not only the IGCSE, but also IB. A lot of it is more of IB than IGCSE. Yeah, so they've borrowed a lot. And it's not bad to borrow because, should I say, the education system that we are going through is a Western education. It's not African.
It is.
So whichever Western you borrow from, we still don't have the authentic African education that we used to have. So yes, so CBE veered into that direction, and I would say borrowed more heavily from IB than from IGCSE.
And now that you brought up IB, maybe someone is thinking, okay, so now there's IB.
Yes.
You know, people think there's Kenyan and then there's international. But thank you for bringing that up, that there's another third component of international that is IB. Maybe could you just like simply say what's the difference, or how does it run?
I have to be very pragmatic over here in the sense of there's no difference, right? And here let me use the example of Strathmore School without kuwapigia debe.
Advocate for your alumni.
Yes, I'm also an alumni of the school.
Yes.
And then I went back to teach. And what I realized is that the blueprint that they used in the 1960s is the same blueprint they're using in 2025, which is more on character formation and family empowerment. And in my own conclusion, I saw that for them, it is education system to fit into the pastoral system. Right?
Okay.
So that to me is always the case. However, in the absence of this strong pastoral system, then the education system tries to take over and then churns out what I would call robots and tags and goons and all that.
All right.
Okay. So if you ask me about IB International Baccalaureate, if you ask me about Montessori, if you ask me about the German education, if you ask me about all those ones, I'll tell you that in my own philosophical view, those are shoes. They don't walk. Those are shoes. So you have 100 pairs of shoes. They'll stay there. They won't walk. If I decide that today I'm taking this pair of shoes and I don't walk with them, it's my feet that do the walking. So the feet are back to the pastoral aspect of it. So I won't say that which one is better and which one is doing whatever kind of thing. It has to be the Strathmore way, is that these systems have to fit into your pastoral system. So when there's a change of education systems, I'm telling you, some of these schools, there's no difference. There's no difference. Like there's a change of government, but the people are with the same values. They just continue. So out goes the old system, in comes 844. Right? Has the school ethos changed? No.
It's
still
the
character
same
formation.
values. It's the same
Out goes
value
844, in comes CBE. Have the school ethos changed? No. They have not changed. So same thing. So I remember we had this conversation at one time when 844 was going through turbulent times, and I was just a rookie teacher. And then I told my head teacher, why don't we've got everything that can go international. I mean, we've got the infrastructure, we've got the teaching staff. Why don't we go international? And I've never forgotten what he told me. He told me, Cliff, wherever we go, we come to adopt to the local system. So we are here for the local people. Let the international people go to the other schools. Anyway, that was just by the way.
No, I think it's a good perspective that you brought up. And I think there's a time someone talked about it from a perspective of transplanting. Like when you transplant something that does not fit, and that's why maybe there's always going to be, like if I take a kidney that is not a fit to my blood type and everything, it's always going to be rejected one way or another. And I think that's the problem, maybe that and I like that you've talked about Strathmore, that they took up something, but they still try to integrate the values that they believe in, the ethos that is Strathmore, and they've tried to put that together. And so it fits because it aligns with the values. And maybe that's something that we would have done, like integrate that system into the African values, if at all we know what those are, and if they're emphasized and things like that. But then if we don't, we are constantly just going to be churning out, as you said, either the robots or the problematic children who can speak very good English and they can talk about sciences, but the value system is not present.
Totally agree.
Absolutely. And so maybe because it's a question that, for example, a parent is asking, is there And I don't know how to explain this question really, but do you feel like there's a particular, and this is with regards to how people talk about 844 being very academic oriented.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, would you say that that's the same in the British or the international system, IGCSE? And would a child, was there a particular child who would probably not thrive in one and will thrive in another? Or what would be the ideal? Or is it just one size fits all kind of approach?
Well, the British curriculum that I encountered actually impressed me because I came right from the thick of teaching 844 into the British curriculum. And what impressed me were just three things, which now have become, again, normal. They look like normal within the CBE. The collaborative teaching, learning. That caught my attention because I was used to the Victorian way of kids sitting in rows and the teacher being in front over there and delivering almost a lecture even to 5-year-olds, kind of, right? So when I encountered that of the kids sitting in groups, so that group collaborative work is the first thing that hit me, that, collaborative learning. Although that was both a mixture of the CBE, at that time, IGCSE, and then the head teacher was also Canadian, so she brought in that mix. So that thing, that was the first one. The second thing that struck me was actually differentiation, which I struggled with, and I see also CBE struggling with. And differentiation was a matter of within a class of the class size was very small. Within a class of 24, all 24 will not be at the same level. So we had the ably gifted, so we would put them in one group. So the ones who are ably gifted in maths are not necessarily ably gifted in English. So we had three groups. We had ability groups in math, we had ability groups in English, and then we had general groups. So if the math teacher comes in, the kids know their groups. If the English teacher comes in, the kids know their groups, right? And then now the rest of the subjects, they are actually mixed ability. So that is the second thing that shocked me, kind of, and that with the ability groups, one group would be accelerated, whereas the other one would actually be working at a slow pace. Yeah.
And they're in the same classroom.
They're in the same class, the same concept,
but differently taught.
Yes, differently taught. So just to give you, for example, if I'm teaching addition, right, 3 plus 3, this group already knows how to add. So for them, I will accelerate them. Instead of giving them 3 plus 3 equals 6, I'll give them 3 plus dash equals 6. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's
right.
The
so they have to look
is number value.
Yes, exactly. It's the same number value, but now they have to look for a number if added to 3. Same thing with multiplication and all that kind of thing. So basically, you're just differentiating. That's the whole aspect of differentiation. And the third thing that really impressed me was actually the learning support and the special needs. Kind of, right? That you have teachers who were supporting children with specific learning difficulties. Whereas in 844, students with specific learning difficulties, the first thing you're told is A, repeat, B, transfer, C, should I say, go and sit your exam in another center. That kind. Here, everyone was, kind of taken care of. So that is the impression that I got from the British curriculum. Yeah. I did not get the impression that they are academic. In fact, I got the impression that they were less academic. What impressed me is how everyone thrived within that system, and the kids accepted themselves that, I'm struggling and whatever kind of thing. Yeah.
And that's a good thing, I think, because as you said, 844 was more, we are all moving. As in, if you're not, you're the problem. Yeah. There was no stopping to say, and maybe not everywhere, but majority of the teachers were, you're in that. Like tusonge, let's move.
It's a conveyor belt.
Yes, exactly.
And you don't move, you're swapped aside and all that.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe the question now, as you said, that the differentiation, the special, like the learning support, the collaborative teaching, which is very learner-centered.
Yes.
Do you feel like that's something that, what kind of learner do you feel like would thrive in that kind of system? Like, and that I mean, if a parent who's thinking, I really want my child to be academic, is it to say then that they would not do well in IGCSE, or is it to say that it caters to all in different?
Oh, okay. I forgot to mention something that also that the GCSE has is during the checkpoints, during the assessment or the exams at grade 6, grade 9, and even year 6, year 9, year 12, year 11. They have got tiered papers, right?
Oh.
So you'll find that they have the core mathematics at year 11 and extended mathematics. So it's up to you. Like my daughter did core mathematics and she scored an A. But core mathematics is like basic mathematics, right? The very smart ones registered for extended mathematics, right? So in that way, everyone is taken care of. Instead of giving people one size fits all, and then you start to talk. Yes, and then you start saying that 65% of Kenyans scored D and below in English and in maths. So that's one thing. Second thing, to go back to the special needs and the specific learning difficulties, with doctors' assessments and doctors' papers, if we prove that a child has got specific learning difficulties, then they're exempted from certain papers. So they don't have to do all the 6 papers or 7 papers. They can just do math and English, right? That's number one. Number two, if it's a severe case, then they can have a scribe, because some of them are verbal and they're oral learners. So if I ask you, what is the capital of Kenya? Is different with when I'm reading here, is the, by the time I finish reading that sentence, I've forgotten
what
I've forgotten what I was actually answering.
Yes.
But if I ask you, what's the capital of Kenya? Oh, Nairobi. Then now the scribe's job is just to write for you the answers, right?
Oh, because they understand.
They understand.
Yes.
I'm not sure about this, but I think they could also be going into digital spaces, whereby now the child can actually answer the questions digitally. Well, the whole point is not to pass exams, because this scribe can cheat. If it's our lock, this guy is not going to cheat. No, it's not about passing the exam.
It's understanding the learner.
Yes, exactly.
And helping them achieve their potential with the limitations or otherwise that they have.
Yes. One of my students, I remember him so well, was such a good drummer. Very good, but he had we call it specific learning difficulties. So he just specialized, I think, in computers all along, plus his music.
Yeah.
And then with the computers, went and studied production and everything and all that. The guy got a degree. He got a degree in the UK because this was the path that he had taken very early on. He did not have to struggle with 11 subjects at all levels, just 2-3 subjects, basic. Then he didn't go to A levels. He went and did his pre-uni, and then went into uni. So the difference is the IGCSE has got all this journey well laid out. But why? Because they've put a lot of money on research, okay, to take care of every single student. Whereas for us, the system will be like, it's only for the elite.
Yes.
I mean, elite in terms of academic, kind of way. If you don't have it, what are you sort?
And it's sad even on that. Like when I was in high school, I remember they had this, they brought in, which was supposed to be a good thing, the integration of special needs learners into what we'd call mainstream schools. So they don't have to be like a visually impaired school has like a learner with a visually impaired would come to our school. And I remember we had these students who came. And I remember the trauma that I received from that was seeing them experience this kind of life, but being still expected to perform at a certain level, but they're not being given the support that they need. Like, for example, when he came in, the books were changing. The way we have like set books, like we did the Merchant of Venice and I think Coming to Bath, but there was no Braille version of it. But then the teacher will come to class and they're teaching as though they're supposed to understand that. I think that those are some of the things that I remember, and I'm like, that was the problem with our system. Like we do not curate experiences for the different learner.
But I told you, it's a Western education. It's not
exactly. It was not thought through. It was not thought through.
It's not ours. It's not ours. I mean, right now, 60-something years later, KCSE is going on right now.
Imagine.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there are girls who are writing their exams in the labor ward 60 years later. And that's the other thing about IGCC. They've got two versions. I'm looking for the right word. Can't get it. They've got the May papers, the April ones, and the October.
Oh, that's good. So can, if you miss this, you still
exactly,
have...
Yes. So if you're in the labor ward in May, then you go in...
child would be
you go and do it in October.
6 months, yes.
Yeah. But for us, it's like... Yes, I'm giving you the paper over here in the KCC, and it's like... I think it's of course, we had that debate last year when the Kenya Under-17 team, there was a huge debate on social media. Should the girls go... Because some of the girls were writing the KCSE exams. So should they miss their KCSE and take part in the World Cup Under-17? Or, kind of... And it went on and on. And someone was like, they can do it a year later. What's the problem? This is the chance and whatever. Anyway, point is, we have an education system, Cambridge, that is not, which is Western. Yeah. It's not African. And most of the question you'll be asking, if it's actually targeted towards the Kenyan parent who's an African, then the questions you really have to ask yourself. Yeah.
All right. So, and as you said, I think that, like, maybe just as a view, because you've been in these classes, and even as we move to the next segment, is there a particular vibe around these schools that you feel someone will notice when they go in? Like this school is an international system versus what we call the local curriculum. Is there anything that they're offering that you feel would be, like, as you said, like you see, like Strathmore resonated with you because there's a value system? Is there anything that's unique, like a unique proposition that you will see even as you walk, anything like that? Is there anything that you feel, as you said, with the values, which is good? Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Definitely, if you look at the purists Cambridge schools, most of them were started for expatriates, right? So the first thing that you'd notice were the number of Caucasians in the compound, right? Whether with students or
teachers.
or teachers. I mean, you walk into Banda and it's like, that's the first thing that hits you.
Yeah.
It's like there are more of Caucasians, expatriate community. So that's a genesis. That's where it started from. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what people have associated it with. It's kind of an expatriate system. Because it's an expatriate system, it is superior.
Yeah.
So if you walk into some of those schools right now, what you might see is that maybe people who have got a chip on their shoulder, thinking that we're doing a superior... yes.
We're better.
Oh, yeah. I remember talking to some kids in my church and say, oh, so how is school? I told, oh, no, I moved. Oh, where did you go to? I went to an international school. So, of course, mentions a certain school.
One of those schools, yes.
But the body language was different. The body language was very different. It's like, I upgraded. So if you're asking me if I walk into some of those schools, you might find people who feel that they're doing something that is superior to the local curriculum, which in essence, is not the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I think I get what you mean. I did my small stint in an international school, and I remember even it was an internship, but I remember even getting that internship, like when the names were, in university the names are posted, as in everyone was like, wow, like she's going to like, this is like and I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the mentality that we have about certain things being more superior because they come from certain places. But then I guess, as you said yourself, if we just look at the principles, the collaborative learning, and employ them into our systems, and then incorporate our values, then what we'll be offering will be more authentic to us as Kenyans.
Definitely.
And definitely it will give us a better experience altogether. Okay. We've come to the end of another episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share, and to comment your thoughts on this episode and more. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm Teacher Leah, and see you next time. Bye.